So here we are in my bar, and I have not done a cocktail video since we moved into this place almost a year ago. And today is June 18th, which means tomorrow is Juneteenth, and it's a national holiday. Apparently, somebody also claimed June 19th as National Martini Day, and as much as I love my martinis, I think that June 19th should stay Juneteenth. So I'm gonna start celebrating National Martini Day on the 18th. Who's with me? Just comment below. Oh God, that sounded awful. Comment below. But anyway, since it's National Martini Day, and because the martini is my favorite cocktail, I thought I would take this opportunity to make the Randy Ham martini right here in our bar. Now the first thing is I usually have some atmosphere and put some music on, but because YouTube will do things like mute in Luxembourg and Burundi, and I happen to know I have a very large fan base in Luxembourg and Burundi, I'm not gonna actually put any music on, but if you see over my shoulder, there's a vinyl suggestion for you. It's the best of Chet Baker, and it's excellent martini music. The second thing is make sure we have all of our ingredients and our tools at our disposal. And nobody's gonna be surprised at all when I say that Grey Goose is my vodka of choice. It needs to be chilled, very, very cold, but not freezing, according to our friends at Grey Goose. Looking for an endorsement deal here. Make it as cold as possible without freezing. I actually have a fridge under the bar that chills everything. The second ingredient is, of course, vermouth, and we'll get into how to use that in just a little bit. I recommend Dolan vermouth. Andre Darlington, the author of Booze and Vinyl, is the one that suggested this to me, and he is not wrong. Then we need bitters, also chilled, believe it or not, and in that nice little crystal bitter shaker, which I think is pretty cool. Most people do olives. I will either do onions or I will do twist of lemon. I hate olives with a passion. If there were no olives anywhere except in olive oil for the rest of my life, I would be very happy. So today I'm gonna use cocktail onions. So it's technically gonna be a Gibson martini. Then you also need, I'm sorry James Bond, but you need a pitcher, not a shaker. A martini is best, especially a vodka martini is best when it is stirred, not shaken. Also chilled, filled to the brim with ice. And of course, your serving martini glass is gotta be Waterford Crystal, if you can do it. Waterford Crystal. It tastes so good out of Waterford Crystal. Then you need, of course, a jig, you need a strainer, and you need a spoon. So now that you've got all of those, most martinis are made with 2.5 ounces, but of course, being me, I have to be a little extra and do an extra ½ ounce. So it's 3 ounces of Grey Goose. Grey Goose endorsement deal here. All right. 1, 2, 3. And again, the key is temperature. You want it as cold as possible. So the vodka is chilled, the pitcher is chilled, there's plenty of ice in there, and then you stir it and you stir it and you stir it and you stir it. About, it's recommended 30 seconds. I usually do about 90, and I do 45 seconds clockwise and 45 seconds counterclockwise. It's a superstition, but I happen to really enjoy that. And then halfway through, before you change direction, stop, get your bitters, 2 dashes. 1, 2. There you go. And now we go back the other way. A lot of this is personal taste, or it's actually, man, that ice is noisy. Or it's personal taste, or it's superstition. It's one of the two, right? But Randy, you didn't put any vermouth in there, and I saw the bottle. Well, I ascribe, kind of, to the Winston Churchill school of vermouth. Winston Churchill famously said, when he has a martini made, to take the bottle of vermouth and wave it towards France, and that's about as much vermouth as you need. I'm not quite that extra, but what I do is I take the vermouth and take just a little drop of it and put it directly in the glass and just rinse the glass with vermouth. That's all the vermouth you need, really. So you just take the glass like this and then out it goes. You've got just enough. There's a little bit of an aroma there. You have stirred your martini for 90 seconds, right? Then you take the pitcher and the strainer, just like that, and right into the martini glass. Look how nice and crystal clear it is. No ice chips, no bubbles, no nothing. It is as clear as can be. And that's what you want. And then of course you need your garnish. And that's the one thing that I didn't pull from my equipment beforehand, but nice little, see, Grey Goose toothpick. And then you put 2 onions in. So why is it called a Gibson? Well, the Gibson girls, if you know your history, were very, very famous. And this cocktail was modeled after them because the 2 onions were supposed to resemble their breasts. Yes, the 2 onions were to resemble the breasts of the Gibson girls. And just so I don't lose any points for referencing breasts, the famous scene in All About Eve, where Margot Channing says, "Fasten your seatbelts, it's going to be a bumpy night." Right before that, the 4 main characters are drinking their martinis, and Bill Sampson hands a martini to Karen.
Karen, you're a Gibson girl.
There you go. You've got your garnish, you've got your little bit of vermouth, and mostly your beautiful Grey Goose endorsement deal vodka right here. And that's how you celebrate National Martini Day, Randy style.